Today we are talking about a very big topic. We're talking about the Ranger, and we effectively have a brand new class with this Ranger.
Yeah, it is super exciting. The Ranger, more than any other class in the new player's handbook, is a new class. People got to see the evolution of the class through the Unearthed Arcana process, and now in the new player's handbook, you will get the brand new Ranger. And every facet of this class has been revisited, fine-tuned. The class has always been widely played, but in our satisfaction surveys over the years, the class has also been one of our lowest rated classes. And so the Ranger, along with the Monk, received major overhauls in the new player's handbook, with, again, the Ranger receiving such a major overhaul that, again, it's a brand new class.
Yeah.
Shall we dive in?
Yes, please.
Right away at first level, if you've played a Ranger over the past 10 years in 5th edition, you're going to see just how new it is, because everything at first level is new. So first off, you get your spellcasting now right away at first level. This is something we did in the Paladin as well in the new player's handbook. Spellcasting is a fundamental part of each of these classes' identities, and we no longer wanted these two classes to wait to get such a vital resource, partly because we also want people who are new to playing these classes to immediately get accustomed to integrating in the spell use that is a part of the hybrid nature of the Ranger and the Paladin.
Right.
These are the quintessential hybrid characters in D&D, going all the way back to 1st edition, that fuse weapon use with magic use. So spellcasting, it's at first level now for Rangers. Piggybacking on that, we also now have a brand new version of the Favored Enemy feature. And this feature now gives you the Hunter's Mark spell prepared all the time, and also gives you free castings of it a certain number of times per day. This is great because it means those castings will no longer compete with your spell casting as a Ranger if you want to do other things with your spells. Hunter's Mark is the way that you mark an enemy as your favored foe. It's going to make it so that you deal more damage to them. And if you're in a pursuit situation in your adventure, it means you're going to have an easier time of tracking them. Now, we'll come back to this spell as we journey upward through the levels in this class, because we're going to see that the new Ranger then has that spell improved at later levels. But we're going to stay here at first level for now,
okay,
because also at first level, Rangers get weapon mastery.
Yeah.
Having spell casting with sort of favored enemy as the piggybacking on spell casting, that's the magic side of the Ranger. Well, we also now have weapon mastery. And this means that Rangers, like all of our classes that are getting weapon mastery, will get to enjoy the brand new tactical options that the weapon mastery system provides. And because Rangers have a very broad weapon selection, that means I think we're going to see many different flavored Rangers just in terms of their weapon use. At level 2, Rangers get Fighting Style, which was a feature that the 2014 Ranger had, and then also a new feature called Deft Explorer. And there was a version of Deft Explorer as an option in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. The version that's now here in the new player's handbook gives you expertise in a skill of your choice that you have proficiency in, and also lets you pick 2 more languages that you know. This feature is all about the skillfulness that Rangers traditionally have, particularly because of how much they roam. I mean, it's in the name. It's often easy to forget that what Ranger is referring to is it is a person who ranges far and wide. And so seeing the world, particularly the natural world, but also the people who live in that world, is a really fundamental part of the Ranger's identity. The other feature I mentioned at this level, fighting style, has been upgraded since its 2014 version because Rangers are no longer limited to a sort of subsection of the fighting style options in the game. They, like Paladins and Fighters, can choose from the whole list of fighting style options that are now in the feat chapter of this book, and the number of options there is greater than the number of options in the 2014 Player's Handbook. Now, we also provided yet an additional choice in this fighting style feature. If you as a Ranger player would rather your Ranger lean more on the magic side of your class identity, you have the option of foregoing one of the fighting style feats, instead taking this option called Druidic Warrior, which is then going to give you some Druid cantrips to add to your kit. And we wanted to make it easier for Ranger players, as we've done in several of the other classes in the new Player's Handbook, to nudge the class in the direction they want to go with it when it comes to, especially in hybrid classes, how much do I want to lean in the weapon side of my identity, and how much do I want to lean on the spellcasting side. At third level, like all the other classes, you get your subclass. We'll come back to those after we've traveled through the whole class. The Ranger still has extra attack. At level 6, the Ranger gets a feature now called Roving, because again, they travel far and wide. And because of this feature, Rangers will now have a boost to their speed, a 10-foot boost to be precise, while they aren't wearing heavy armor. And on top of that, all Rangers now at this level also gain a climb speed and a swim speed, because Rangers are meant to be the people who are best equipped to explore pretty much any kind of environment. And we support that fantasy both with the class features that are present, but also through the spells. There'll be many familiar spells from the 2014 spell list, but people will also see there are some additions to that list, so it's a bit more robust. And now, whenever a Ranger finishes a long rest, they can change one of the spells that they have prepared. This is a big change for Rangers, because it used to be that they had their list of spells and they could only change one of them whenever they would level up. But now it's every day when they finish a long rest, they can change one. So that's back at first level in the spellcasting feature, but I bring it up now talking about just the Ranger's exploration side, because we made this change in spellcasting to better support the utility side of the Ranger spell use. Because the Ranger spell list has more utility than it does have outright damage. And so because of that utility focus, we wanted Rangers to be able to at least, change one spell a day, depending on the situation that's ahead of them, at least that they're guessing is ahead of them in the coming adventuring day. As before, the subclass features keep coming, ability score improvement keeps coming. Up at 19th level, like all the classes in the new Player's Handbook, there's Epic Boon, but they also now get 2 more expertise options. So the Ranger is going to be even more skilled, even more of an expert than they were in 2014. And at 10th level, they get a feature called Tireless. And with this feature, the Ranger, a certain number of times per day, can give themselves temporary hit points, representing a resilience that they are drawing into themselves from nature itself. And they also have an always-on ability that whenever they finish a short rest, if they have any exhaustion levels, the number of exhaustion levels they have reduces by 1. Most people have to take a long rest to have their exhaustion go down by 1, but Rangers, who again are meant to be the ones who are best equipped to roam across vast distances, their exhaustion goes away faster than most other characters. At level 13, here's where their Hunter's Mark spell starts to improve. So they already always have that spell prepared, and they get a number of free castings of it per day. Starting at level 13, damage can no longer break their concentration on the spell. Still have to concentrate on it. This is important so that the spell can't stack with other things that also require concentration. Then at level 14, you get Nature's Veil, where as a bonus action, you can, again, drawing on the primal magic that you draw on as a ranger, just poof, become invisible. It's sort of a supernatural camouflage. The 2014 ranger had the ability at higher level to easily camouflage themselves, but it required them to loop through hiding, through specifically the hide action. Now, it's far more supernatural where just they're gone. And they are invisible. So it's going to be easier to use and be more effective as the ranger creeps around, perhaps stalking one of their foes. We also have at level 17, another upgrade to Hunter's Mark, where now the ranger always has advantage on attack rolls against whoever is currently marked by their Hunter's Mark.
Nice.
Level 18, they get blind sight out to 30 feet as they become almost like a creature of the wilds, being able to, even if they're blinded, see or effectively see around them. And then at 20th level, the damage of their Hunter's Mark increases. So it is now a D10 rather than a D6. All of this together, when you combine the new features, the enhanced spell list, the ability to use more of your spells as a ranger, means you will be the paramount explorer and sort of survivalist in the wilds, supporting your party with your various abilities, but also being a badass on your own.
Perfect. That's amazing. Those are huge changes.
Again, it's a new class.
Yeah.
It is top to bottom rebuilt, and so much of that done in conversation with the community through Unearthed Arcana.
And heavily focus on that fantasy that you have. If you are wanting to play a ranger, you're dealing that damage, you're wandering, you are the best at so many things that you should be the best at, and you also can have expertise in the things that you should.
And many of these benefits also are very concrete. One of our misses in the 2014 Ranger is we had some really nice, flavorful abilities having to do with different environments or different types of creatures that didn't really deliver a reliable, concrete game experience. And everything that we've done here has been about delivering the fantasy of the Ranger and doing it in a very direct, fun way so that you get your feature and you get to be rangery.
Yeah.
Then we took that philosophy and carried it into the subclasses. We have the Hunter and the Beastmaster both returning from the 2014 Player's Handbook, but both of them redesigned.
Yeah.
And then they are joined by the Gloomstalker and the Fey Wanderer.
The new Player's Handbook is available for pre-order right now on D&D Beyond. You can find that link in the video description. And you can also find the new Core Rulebooks bundle for pre-order, both physical and digital.
And if you pre-order the digital 2024 Player's Handbook on D&D Beyond, you get exclusive bonuses. 12 sets of digital dice representing each class, 10 new frames, and 5 new backdrops. And all of those bonuses are available right now on D&D Beyond.
Thank you so much for watching. We have a ton of video content coming out about the new Player's Handbook and all the new Core Rulebooks, the new Monster Manual, the new Dungeon Master's Guide. So be sure to check out all of that content. And thank you for watching.